That was a great start to the rest of our conversation, don't you think? So, hello everyone. I am Kimberly. And I'm super duper excited because this is my first day of my week 7. And it's day 1 of the week, meaning that we concentrate our spiritual wisdom and understanding as it pertains to the root chakra. And the root chakra is all about finding out who we really are, beneath all of the layers that we have come to believe or assign to ourselves as what we are in our external 3D environments. Beyond that, under that, inside of us, we all share very common values and traits because we were all created by one creator, whatever you call him. I happen to be a Christian and I believe in God. I believe in an even more magnificent God than I was ever taught previously, so I refer to him as the Most High Creator. Because the Most High Creator has allowed absolutely everything in our lives to be available to us as part of our culture, as part of our religions, as part of our everything. He allowed things in our lives in order for our ultimate highest benefit of learning for that person at that time. Every single solitary experience we've had, whether good, bad, or indifferent, has been beneficial to the overall structure of we as a humanity, according to the Most High Creator. And it's evident in many, many, many modalities. It's evident in many, many, many religions. In Christianity, Jesus came. He's one of our brothers, all of us, regardless of anything else. He's another human being, which means he's another one of the one. And what he did is come here as a teacher. And although we call him Jesus, there's many other religions that have a similar person appear at this particular moment in time. See how close they are. Anyway, at this particular moment in time, to bring to our attention all that we can be through the understanding of a spiritual nature. All of it is essentially pointing back to the very same thing, and that's our one thing, that we are the same, regardless of anything else. Because we were created intentionally by the Most High Creator to come here and experience life in our maximum capacity. Now, he wouldn't send us here to learn and develop and go through challenges and triumphs for us not to learn how to be our best. We're children, and we need to learn. Just like we understand ourselves now as adults, and small children, how small children must learn. We are small children in the eyes of the Most High Creator. He provided to us the most beautiful, uncomplicated, magnificent educational plan that involves us working together and learning how magnificent we really are, regardless of anything else. And I've touched on sore subjects, but it's true. When we come together in that place and we realize our greatness, we the people are in fact the gold of the earth, cannot be duplicated. I'm trying, but we cannot be duplicated. You know what that means? That means we are an essential element to the universe. And with that understanding, the greatness within us is meant to be cultivated through our educational experiences so that we can integrate into the dance of life that's all around us. Right now, we're captured in ideas and images that we have assigned to ourselves in some way, consciously or unconsciously. That is our role. That's been our role. It's something that we have developed out of necessity, right? But as the tables begin to turn and evolution, of our society continues, so does the dance of life. The universe and the galaxy and the planets and the stars, and that's inclusive of the earth. And everything is always changing and dancing together. Yet we, the people, have not yet learned how to master that portion of ourselves to enable us to be the final necessary ingredient to that dance of life, which brings about the heaven on earth as exampled by Jesus and many other names throughout many other religions, many other cultures. We were meant as a people to grow beyond what history has shown us thus far. And that too is evident and apparent are all around us because our growth is in our face all the time. I mean, look at how magnificent we have all become. Look at how magnificent technology and everything has become. And it's only going to continue to get better. So as we grow and expand, it's only natural to assume that the human being would also require growth and expansion to move with the flow of where we're going in a more harmonious way so that we are enabled to do so. There's a shift of era here, and you know, some of me is very mystical because I have a very high level of connection with the Most High Creator. I'm very intuitive and I'm an empath. I have been through some serious things in my life, and I am a healer. I help lead other people to discover their healing process through structure. Because it's that important that we begin integrating that final piece of us. And the only one who can really, really put all these pieces together correctly would be the Most High Creator. Because we've never done this before. Most of us have lived all of our lives just like this. And now we're being called to do something greater. And where do we turn for that advice? The Most High Creator. And in my experience, I have found that when I first recognize myself as who I truly am according to the Most High Creator, everything else begins to fall into alignment. Because we're no longer trying to work against the natural order of education that's been provided by the Most High Creator. We're working with it, which is always to our benefit because of what He wants for us. But in order for us as a people to be able to achieve something so monumental, we have to approach it in a way that we've never approached it before. We are accustomed to running to help others in need. In a catastrophe or a disaster, people are accustomed to stopping their lives even and running to a location for a month, for a quarter, for 6 months or a year. And then when it's over, when all the bodies have been counted and all the rubble has been cleared, we go home with a memory that was heartbreaking. In this particular case, because the structure, and I got lost off track there. I'm a little bit distracted today. But the the mystical side of things on the root chakra. You know, this piece of us is such an integral element of ourselves, from a spiritual understanding as well as an emotional understanding. All we're really being asked to do, because we're transitioning from one era planetary alignment of Capricorn into Aquarius. Both have very different types of driving energies that affect us. And I have found that everything that we're doing here on this earth seems to be falling in alignment with these structural, universal changes, okay? Now, Capricorn is one about structure and achievement. Having a set, following that exact plan for a specific goal with everything in order. We're talking about operational excellence in every single department, okay? Building, how we invest, everything. How we fund everything. Okay? That's what that was. And I think we can all agree that we've been living through that. I'm 56 years old, and that's pretty much been the way that's always been for me. You know. But this new age of Aquarius is different. It's an era of spirituality now, where we unlock, you know, all of our greatest capacity, get over our crap, and, you know, become one, you know, a lot of the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, right? It's that. But because we have come right out of Capricorn, which was very structural, and now we're moving into a more spiritual zone, bringing a new element that we've never done before together like this. We're taking this little piece over here, which is going to be a really big piece, you'll come to understand. And we're learning that so that we could take all of this stuff we learned, and now we could put it together with the new stuff we learned and create the best out of it all. That's the intention and purpose. But in order to achieve that, it requires a different type of response than we're used to giving. Like I was saying, we're not running anywhere. We're not fighting anything. No. We're not helping, really, initially, anyone else. We need to take all of that beauty, goodness, patriotism, love for each other, the whole 9 yards, all that good shit that we got, okay? I'm going to lay it out just like that. All that good stuff we got. We're going to take that all and we're going to put it in a basket right in front of us. And for once, we're going to direct it directly at ourselves, as if we were taking care of someone else, and we are for once going to take care of ourselves like we have been taking care of everyone else, following everyone else's everything. Every single thing we do is an admission of our desire to assist others. But right now, what we're being called to do is to nourish ourselves for the benefit of everyone else. It's the first step to, it is the emergency response. We step up, we become fuller, we become greater. And then we turn around, each of us, as we reach with every level, there's always someone that's beneath you. And I don't mean that in a condescending way, but we all have our methods of learning, and the central element to the education that's provided by the Most High Creator is relationships. So every relationship is absolutely a learning experience of some kind. That's why relationships are so important. Now, rah, rah. When we allow ourselves, for once and for all, for goodness God's sake, no matter what anybody thinks or what we even think about ourselves, we go, okay, Father, God, Most High Creator, Allah, whichever, please show me exactly who I am. And He's going to show you. And when He shows you, you will probably cry like I did at the first stark realization of self. To suddenly understand that the only one that I really need to have an accounting to is the Most High Creator, and the Most High Creator just got done telling me that I am already forgiven, just like was exampled by our brother. I am already forgiven. No longer do I need to have those chains around me of guilt, of fear, of anxiety, of confusion, of sorrow, of grief, of everything. I don't need to hang on to that anymore. Because the Most High Creator just got done telling me that every single thing that I feel horrible about had a lesson in it that I missed. And all I got to do is go back and say, all right, what I missed. And rather than it being difficult, we first learn who we are and appreciate that. Find what gives us joy. Begin acting spiritual in our smallish environment and reach our heart chakra. And by the time we get to the heart chakra, we have looked behind us, and all of those things that the Most High Creator said were meant for your learning experience and you just missed it. Guess what? You suddenly get it. You suddenly understand exactly why you went through each thing. And that's only because you have accepted who you are first. It's the first step that most people are the most fearful of, because they're fearful of leaving the fear behind. Because like me, you've lived your lives, most of you, just like this. Some are more spiritual than others, and some have active applications. Some are still trying to figure out how to apply it to real life. Some are still, wondering about it, and still others are absolutely against it. You know what I mean? And this is why I explain it to you from this perspective, because it is the unavoidable ultimate outcome based on all of my research and all of my findings and the experimentation to give it the validation of my findings. Because you know what? We live in a world of theory. And I don't like to live my life in a world of theory. I want to know what I'm working with. So what do I want? I want truth. I want to be able to see truth of what my situation is, of who I am, of what my capabilities are, and where my highest best is, and how that applies to everything. I want to know that. And the only one who can really tell me all that inside information ahead of time is the Most High Creator. Once I realized, suddenly my mind exploded as to the magnitude of power I then realized that the Most High Creator really has. Like beyond anything I ever even understood before in my many, many years of Christianity. Okay? And at first my mind was kind of blown. But it was blown in a really good way. Because there was a time that I read the Old Testament, and when I was done reading the Old Testament, you know what? I closed it and I cried. Because I said, and this was in the very, very beginning of my spirituality when I was really starting to dig in, okay? I cried because I realized what a monumental thing it would take in order to create the change necessary. To reestablish some things that are vitally important to our future as a humanity. Okay. Now, years and years later, here I am, having discovered many different modalities, learning truth through many, many different common things. And I found that our belief in the Most High Creator and His capabilities and the intentions that He set for us as He created us, if we allow that to really sink in, it really does change everything. Even when you think that you're fine and dandy, when you look at that, you're going to realize how limited you have become. And this is the point. The final piece is almost like, it's not even a missing piece of a puzzle to ourselves. It's like, this is like a bomb being dropped, that there's something missing. That's how well removed from our view this has been. And to think that with all of this chaos and confusion going on around us, all that we have to do is begin to understand who we are according to the Most High Creator and work through a small process to really begin first helping ourselves and then helping each other. This is the crux of all things going forward. Because what happens, and the reason why I call it Root Chakra Monday, is because all of this spiritual understanding I just provided to you does indeed have an energetic value that affects us. Okay? So I always refer to our cells having an energetic vibration of 1 through 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, okay? And then when you lay the root chakra over it, the chakras, the 7 basic chakra systems, you can identify how to make that 10 into 7, okay? And through the spiritual wisdom, you can understand how it affects each chakra, okay? The chakra system is an invisible system within our body that manages, I'll say, the energetic value of spiritual wisdom, of all wisdom, of everything, of every thought, of every action, of every behavior. We're generating constantly some form of electricity, if you will. Oh, a tick. Ah! I'm sitting outside. Now I'm going to be freaked out. Anyway, as I was saying before tick came, we got to look up tick. Anyway. The root chakra. This invisible electrical system that we have within our body, it is what manages all of the electrical output that our thoughts and emotions carry and actions. And see, I told you I'm going to be freaked out. And when we bring our thoughts into alignment of who we are according to the Most High Creator, and we're working within His system of education and understanding, it generates a higher level vibration than what we're typically accustomed to, okay? And because of that, it's important that we acknowledge it, because the energy that's associated with each level of spiritual wisdom and its coordinating chakra enables us to utilize our energies properly instead of improperly for our maximum benefit. And it's the energetic value that creates our tomorrow. Because everything that we see other than the basics is someone's imagination manifesting. And we're literally doing that every moment of every day. So on Root Chakra Monday, as we're discovering who we are according to the Most High Creator, we're increasing our energetic vibration naturally. And that corresponds with our root chakra. And the root chakra, now the entire 7 basic chakras are connected to the endocrine system as well. So by helping ourselves understand things from a spiritual understanding, growing in wisdom, today learning who we are according to the Most High Creator, We're increasing our energetic output in a more positive nature, which is affecting our root chakra and our testes and ovaries today. Because as we increase our energetic value, we're helping things heal, because we were intended to be an energy vibration of 10. We're rolling around 1 and 2. When we begin to lift ourselves out of that from a spiritual wisdom perspective, it affects us energetically, and it affects our body in a positive way, helping it get back to what it should be, helping in healing, restoration. There are crystals that I use because these crystals are similar in nature to the energetic vibration of that chakra, and they can assist in the healing and the smooth performance of a root chakra having to do with our foundation. This is where the fight or flight comes alive in an untamed root chakra, right? And these 3 crystals right here, this is black obsidian, this is red jasper. Oh, you can't see. Okay. Black obsidian, red jasper, and tiger's eye. I use all 3 together because together they're powerful. This one not only removes negative energy or assists in removing negative energy, it helps amplify positive energy and neutralize. The red jasper helps us remain grounded in truth of who we are. And the tiger's eye amplifies all the other stones around it, in addition to providing us with a greater level of self-esteem, a little extra bolster, so that we can absorb and begin living what we're learning, okay? Because it's one thing to learn it, it's another thing to live it, okay? So these are the 3 that I use. In fact, I use them for the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus chakra, because these are the most important 3 chakras that we can talk about, okay? Acknowledging who we are according to the Most High Creator is going to provide an energetic shift. These will help neutralize that, because an energetic shift like that, if you're not ready for it, it can almost feel like anxiety rather than excitement. And the crystals help neutralize that. There's other things that we could do too. Colors also provide an energetic value. Okay, the color red is associated with the root chakra because it matches in energetic value, right? So, you could wear something like, earrings or, undergarments. You can, eat something red for lunch. Carry a red handbag. You know what I mean? Something simple. And you could throw these in your pockets. This is orangey red. That'll work. And it'll help with the energy all day long without you having to think about it. Another thing is food. On Mondays with the root chakra concerning our foundation and the strengthening of ourselves, it's lean red meat. Makes sense. Going back to basics. What's key? What's necessary? This really does bring you down. What's the necessity of survival? And you begin to appreciate the essence of life. Really, I'm not kidding. So there's also some exercises I put together, because I found that when we sit too long, or when we overwork ourselves even, we cause, muscle aches and pains and knots and tenseness and stuff like that. And when that's like that energy that we're trying to assist in our root chakra or any of our chakras is having a more difficult time doing what it needs to do. It's not flowing. It's kind of getting stuck. And the chakra system is like a daisy chain. I don't know if you've ever heard about that. Like if you're wiring a house, you can electrical wire a house from the electrical box to each outlet or switch, or you could do it room by room. So you're creating a daisy chain, one line to the room, and then that one line feeds all the switches and the outlets. That's a daisy chain, right? So that's how the basic 7 chakras work, like a daisy chain. So when the first one doesn't work very well, the second one doesn't work very well, and you're not getting the results that you hope for. So in order to assist all of these other, things that we're doing as this increase of energy comes, now, mind you, too, if you don't unstuck energy at any level, it does turn into anxiety and depression and problems because it doesn't know how to react and it begins to malfunction. Okay? So every day of the week, starting today, the only exercise we have for today is a basic stretch that gets us, or you could do it sitting or standing, that just gets your blood flowing, and it doesn't take very much time at all. It's very easy. Anyone can do it. But, we're talking a tiny bit of exercise to let the energy through. We're talking eating lean meat to give us the greater sustenance that we need to build a foundation. We're talking about colors and crystals that have an energetic vibration matched to the energy that we're creating from a spiritual nature so that we can correct that chakra and have a beneficial outcome on the rest of our chakra system, the rest of our understanding, the closure of painful things, the adulthood of our emotions, the reaching of the heart chakra, God's spark within us for ultimate manifestational capabilities. All of these things are what create that inward look at ourselves right now. This is the response to the emergency that we begin. This is what enables us to bring ourselves and therefore each other and therefore humanity to the next level. By integrating this wonderful beauty of ourselves in this way. And, I know some people will feel funny about chakras. So let's talk about the energy and all of that. There's universal laws. Like I said, we're the missing ingredient to the rest of the dance of life. When you evaluate the rest of everything, the universe, everything, down to even how our bodies function, you see that there is an energy component to it, and it does operate on a scale. You come to understand that a higher level vibration has more power and strength than a lower level vibration, just in existence without any movement or fussing or fighting or words even. It's the most miraculous thing that begins to happen for ourselves. And this is why we need to respond in such a way. The world around us is beginning to shift into what I'm speaking about, but we're not. When we begin to shift also, it alleviates all of the issues because we begin to function at the proper vibration, which happens to be attained through greater spiritual understanding and realization of self. It is the ultimate humanitarian response to a global problem. Ourselves first. And that's what we're learning on Root Chakra Monday. That's what we're going for. Energy, let me explain to you another thing about energy. What happens with energy? There's a universal law that says whatever energy you send out is the energy that comes back to you like a boomerang. Some people refer to it as the boomerang effect. That's how we are creating our futures. We always have been. The recognition of our increased energetic value, therefore boomerangs, as connected to spirituality and a greater understanding of ourselves is monumental for us as a people. We may not have known that that was there, or maybe we did and didn't know how to attain it, didn't think that it was possible, said it was too hard. This is the easiest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life. my whole entire life. And no matter what's going on in life, I have peace. And guess what? I love. And I'm a healer. I transmute negative energy into positive. And if I even began to breathe to what I've been through in my life and put this process to the test, you might believe me enough to at least give it a try. In actuality, this is really all about you. The path I suggest leads you into self-discovery of your own. It helps you develop the habit of being great every day. It helps teach you how to close painful situations easily. It lets you open the doors and all those skeletons fall out of the closet painlessly. And it's a gift that keeps on giving, because we may have one grand cycle of life, but there's many, many, many smaller cycles within it, and smaller cycles within those as well. Every day is a learning experience. Every day you have the opportunity to increase your energetic vibration, and every time you handle that incoming energy correctly, by, recognizing that it does in fact affect you and do little things to assist it and accept it, those boomerangs, they turn to gold. Say you start at a 1. Say you're depressed, angry, fearful, right? That's a lower level energy vibration, like a 1 or a 2. When you accept who you are according to the Most High Creator, that very first step, you're like automatically catapulted into a 6. Now the boomerangs at 1 and 2 keep coming back to you, and they're not very pretty. Wood, moldy, falling apart. Just get you by. Well, when you jump into 6, suddenly that wooden boomerang's looking golden. Golden. Why? Because the energy that you're putting out now looks different. So your boomerang brings you different results than you used to have. Simple. That's a big jump. That's why I put so much emphasis on the other things. Because sometimes people can mistake excitement for anxiety and ruin the fun of it, really. Because it is fun. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my whole life. Thank you for listening. Now, I always close with, I asked the Most High Creator what he would like for me to read from A Course in Miracles, and I highly recommend this book. This was given to me by a woman who I considered my life coach and a friend. And when it arrived, I read every page of it. It's over 1,000. It has the text, the workbook, and the teacher's manual in here. And as you can see, I use it for everything. I mean, I still refer to the Bible, of course. But A Course in Miracles taught me how to live. It helped me look at things a little bit differently, to understand a little bit better. It was the first thing that was introduced to me from that perspective. And I tested it because I was afraid of it, just like everything else. But tell you what, the words in here, truth. Anyways, so this is how we go. Give me just a second. And I I open it up and I find the first heading. And it's in chapter 28, The Undoing of Fear. And it's section 2, Reversing Effect and Cause. And you know what? Every time it's right on target. Okay, I'll try to read this one quick because it's a little bit long. Without a cause, there can be no effects, and yet without effects, there is no cause. The cause a cause is made by its effects. The Father is a Father by his Son. Effects do not create their cause, but they establish its causation. Thus, the Son gives fatherhood to his Creator and receives the gifts that he has given him. It is because he is God's Son that he must also be a Father who creates as God created him. The circle of creation has no end. Its starting and its ending are the same, but in itself it holds the universe of all creation, without beginning and without an end. Fatherhood is creation. Love must be extended. Purity is not confined. It is the nature of the innocent to be forever uncontained, without a barrier or limitation. Thus is purity not of the body, nor can it be found where limitation is. The body can be healed by its effects, which are as limitless as itself. Yet must all healing come about because the mind is recognized as not within the body, as its innocence is quite apart from it, and where all healing is. Where then is healing? Only where its cause is given its effects. For sickness is a meaningless attempt to give effects to causelessness and make it be a cause. Always in sickness does the Son of God attempt to make himself his cause and not allow himself to be his Father's Son. For this impossible desire, he does not believe that he is love's effect, and must he cause because of what he is. The cause of healing is the only cause of everything. It has but one effect, and in that recognition, causelessness is given no effects and none is seen. A mind within a body and a world of other bodies, each with separate minds, are your creations, you and other mind, creating with effects unlike yourself, and as their Father, you must be like them. Nothing at all has happened but that you have put yourself to sleep, and dreamed a dream in which you were an alien to yourself, and but a part of someone else's dream. The miracle does not awaken you, but merely shows you who the dreamer is. It teaches you there is a choice of dreams while you are still asleep, depending on the purpose of your dreaming. Do you wish for dreams of healing or for dreams of death? A dream is like a memory in that it pictures what you wanted shown to you. An empty storehouse with an open door holds all your shreds of memories and dreams. Yet if you are the dreamer, you perceive this much at least, that you have caused the dream and can accept another dream as well. But for this change in content of the dream, it must be realized that it is you who dream the dreaming that you do not like. It is but an effect that you have caused, and you would not be cause of this effect. In dreams of murder and attack, you are the victim in a dying body slain. But in forgiving dreams, is no one asked to be the victim and the sufferer? These are the happy dreams and miracle exchanges for your own. It does not ask you to make another, only that you see you made the one you would exchange for this. The world is causeless, as is every dream that anyone has ever dreamed within the world. No plans are possible, and no design exists that could be found and understood. What else could be expected from a thing that has no cause? Yet if it has no cause, it has no purpose. You may cause a dream, but never will you give it real effects. For what would change its cause? And it is this you cannot do. The dreamer of a dream is not awake, but does not know he sleeps. He sees illusions of himself as sick or well, depressed or happy, but without a stable cause with guaranteed effects. The miracle establishes you dream a dream, and that its content is not true. This is a crucial step in dealing with illusions. No one is afraid of them when he perceives he made them up. The fear he was held in place because he did not see that he was author of the dream, and not a figure of the dream. He gives himself the consequences that he dreams he gave his brother, And it is this but the dream has put together and has offered him to show him that his wishes have been done. Thus does he fear his own attack, but sees it at another's hands. As victim, he is suffering from its efforts, but not their cause. He authored not his own attack, and he is innocent of what he caused. The miracle does nothing but to show him that he has done nothing. What he fears is cause without the consequences that would make it cause, and so it never was. The separation started with the dream the Father was deprived of his effects, and powerless to keep them since he was no longer their creator. In the dream, the dreamer made himself, but what he made has turned against him, taking the role of its creator, and the dreamer had. And as he hated his creator, so the figures in the dream have hated him. His body is their slave, which they abuse, because the motives he has given it have they adopted as their own, and hate it for the vengeance it would offer them. It is their vengeance on the body which appears to prove the dreamer could not be the maker of the dream. Effects and cause are first split off, and then reversed, so that effect becomes cause, and cause effect. This is the separation's final step, with which salvation, which proceeds to go the other way, begins. This final step is an effect of what has gone on before, appearing as a cause. The miracle is the first step in giving back to cause the function of causation, not effect. For this confusion has produced the dream, and while it lasts will waking be feared, nor will the call to awakening be heard, because it seems to be the call to fear. Like every lesson that the Holy Spirit requests you learn, the miracle is clear. It demonstrates what he would have you learn and shows you its effects are what you want. In his forgiving dreams are the effects of yours undone, and hated enemies perceived as friends with merciful intent. Their enmity is seen as causeless now, because they did not make it, and you can accept the role of maker of their hate, because you see that it has no effects. Now are you freed from this much of the dream. The world is neutral, and the bodies that still seem to move about as separate things need not be feared, and so they are not sick. The miracle returns the cause of fear to you who made it, but it also shows that having no effects, it is not cause, because the function of causation is to have effects. And where effects are gone, there is no cause. Thus is the body healed by miracles, because they show the mind made sickness and employed the body to be the victim or effect of what it made. Yet half the lesson will not teach the whole. The miracle is useless if you learn but that the body can be healed, for this is not the lesson it was sent to teach. The lesson is the mind was sick that thought the body could be sick, projecting out its guilt caused nothing and had no effects. This world is full of miracles. They stand in shining silence next to every dream of pain and suffering, of sin and guilt. They are the dream's alternative, the choice to be the dreamer rather than deny the active role in making up the dream. They are the glad effects of taking back the consequence of sickness to its cause. The body is released because the mind acknowledges this is not done to me, but I am doing this. And thus the mind is free to make another choice instead. Beginning here, salvation to separation. Salvation will proceed to change the course of every step in the descent to separation until all steps have been retraced, the latter gone, and all the dreaming of the world undone. Amen. And that's it. And what that essentially is saying is that what I was saying. Excuse me. We have grown accustomed to one way of being. We've lived our whole life, we've built our foundations, everything we know balances on this. The thought of changing this is so scary. On top of some of, dealing with things from our past, make this effort seem monumental. Believe me, after I read that, I participated in a 40-day course. I was afraid to death to do that course because I had already dedicated myself. And if I was going to get into learning something new, I was all in. And I was afraid to death of losing everything I had. I cried for like 3 days straight. Went to the beach, sat on the jetty, stood at the bulkhead, sat on the dock, cried, was so afraid. And then I found out how silly I had been. Really just so silly. Because it wasn't scary at all. It wasn't hard. I had plenty of time, and guess what? I'm a site creator. It's free. Doesn't even cost anything. I think I've talked your ear off enough today on the root chakra, but it's worth the time and the consideration of what I say. Today being day 1, the root chakra, it's vitally important that we grasp this new knowledge, this new call, this new way of being. And the better we learn that, the better we pull what we already know into it and create beautiful things together that benefit everyone. And that, my friends, is the overall goal that I believe we all have in common. I love you. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.